Hey everyone, and welcome. You ever look at these giant companies and just wonder, how do they get so big? How are they everywhere all at once? Well, the secret isn't always about building everything from the ground up. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the powerful world of corporate collaboration. Let's dive in. I mean, it's a great question, right? You've got these corporate giants with mountains of cash, all the resources in the world. You'd think they could just do whatever they want, all on their own. But they don't. They're constantly teaming up. So why? What's really going on here? And there it is, this simple answer. In today's world, trying to do everything by yourself is just slow, it's crazy expensive, and honestly, it's a huge gamble. So instead, the smart companies have a strategic toolkit they use to grow smarter, not just harder. Let's break down the three main tools in that kit. All right, first up, we've got the one you've probably heard of the most, the partnership. The easiest way to think about this, it's like the friendly handshake of the business world. A way to work together, but still, keep your own space. So what this really means is that two or more companies make a formal deal to help each other out. But, and this is the most important part, they stay as completely separate, independent companies. They're not merging, they're just in their own lanes, heading in the same direction for a little while. And these handshakes come in a few different flavors. You've got your big, long-term strategic deals, maybe aimed at taking over a whole market. Or you've got simpler ones, like distribution partnerships. Think of a local cafe selling pastries from a bakery down the street. It's flexible and low commitment, which is great, but the trade-off is you have less control. And this is a perfect example of a win-win. Think about it. When you walk into a Starbucks, the music is part of the vibe, right? Well, that's Spotify. Starbucks gets a cool atmosphere, and Spotify gets its platform in front of literally millions of people holding coffee cups. It's just a simple, brilliant partnership. All right, so that's the handshake. Now let's level up the commitment and talk about alliances. If a partnership is a friendly handshake, think of an alliance as joining an exclusive club, a power circle. Things are getting a little more serious here. The key words to remember here are pool resources and share risks. This is way more than just a marketing tie-in. In an alliance, companies are actively throwing their resources into a common pot and agreeing to share the risk of a big project. It's a much deeper level of trust and integration. And why would they do this? Well, the goal is usually to achieve something huge, something that would be basically impossible for any one of them to do by themselves. We're talking about building a global network or creating a whole new industry standard. It's all about achieving massive scale and doing it fast. The airline industry is the classic example. Think about the Star Alliance. Because of this, an airline like United doesn't need to own planes that fly to every corner of the globe. They can just leverage their alliance with Lufthansa in Europe or Air India. For them, it means a global footprint for a fraction of the cost. And for us, it means we can book a flight from Chicago to Mumbai on one seamless ticket. Okay, now we're at the top of the mountain, the highest level of commitment there is, the joint venture. So, if a partnership is a handshake and an alliance is a club, a joint venture is like two companies deciding to have a baby. They are literally creating a brand new entity. This is the single most important distinction. A new, separate, legal company is born from a joint venture. The parent companies, they act as the owners. They share everything, the profits, the losses, the management. The potential rewards are huge, but you better believe the risks are too. This is where things get really complex and expensive if they go wrong. Many of you will probably remember this one, Sony Ericsson. It's the perfect case study. Back in the day, Sony was the king of consumer electronics, Walkmans, cameras, you name it. And Ericsson, they were the experts in building telecom networks. Neither could really crack the exploding mobile phone market alone. So they created a joint venture, a whole new company. And for a time, they were an absolute powerhouse. Okay, let's just pause here for a second because this chart really brings it all together. You can see the progression so clearly. As you move from left to right, from partnership to alliance to joint venture, everything goes up. The level of integration, the resources being shared, and yep, the risk and commitment, they all climb higher. It's a spectrum, and companies choose the right spot depending on their goals. So, okay, we've covered the what. We know the difference between these three things. But the big question is why? Why go through all the complexity, all the legal fees? Well, the answer is simple, because the strategic payoff can be absolutely enormous. And this right here is pretty much the playbook. You want to get into a new market like tomorrow? A partnership can do that. Got a crazy expensive R&D project for some new technology? Sharing that cost in alliance or a JV just makes sense. Every single one of these is a powerful reason why teaming up is often so much smarter than going it alone. And here is a modern-day masterclass in this strategy. When Netflix wanted to expand in India, instead of spending a fortune trying to win customers one by one, they partnered with a huge telecom company, Jio, to bundle subscriptions. Boom! In one deal, they locked in millions of users. That makes it incredibly difficult for their rivals to catch up. That is a strategic moat. And look, this isn't just some high-level business theory. This stuff hits the bottom line hard. Access to new customers drives revenue. Sharing expenses boosts efficiency. Faster innovation gets you ahead of the curve. And Wall Street loves to see it. Smart, strategic moves can absolutely boost a company's valuation. Here's another brilliant one. Google is a software and AI giant. They don't want the headache and the massive cost of owning and running factories. So they team up with a company like Foxconn, who are the best in the world at manufacturing. Google gets to focus on what it does best, design and software, and they get a world-class phone without building a single factory. And that right there is the main takeaway from all of this. The smartest companies in the world know their weaknesses just as well as their strengths. And they use these tools, partnerships, alliances, and joint ventures to fill those gaps, reduce their risk, and ultimately, to win. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What's the next big team up that's going to completely reshape an industry? Maybe an electric car company and a huge power utility? A tech giant and a healthcare provider? The possibilities are endless, and you can bet the next industry-shaking deal is already being negotiated right now. Thank you for watching, friends. And before you go, please leave a comment and let me know which stock or sector you'd like to see analyzed next. I really do read all of your comments. And yes, on this channel, we don't just discuss stocks. We also explain and teach every fundamental ratio in detail so that you can analyze companies yourself. So for more of this deep learning and market insights, subscribe to the channel now and don't forget to press the bell icon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.
Disclaimer. Educational content only. Not SEBI registered. This is not a buy/sell recommendation. Invest at your own risk.